Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamuna Tira Vanantari Yamuna Tira Vanantari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamuna Tira Vanantari Yamuna Tira Vanantari Yamuna Tira Vanantari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Radha Madhava Radha Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Gaura Pimanande. Jai Vishupad Paramahamsa Pri Bhradgasaga Stotra Satta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charan Narvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ki Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandi BP Founder Charya Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Samavata Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Janitai Gauda Pimanande, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada Ki. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Sarakaya Dakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Syam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanditam Scha Hai Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Dharam Shaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
नित्यं भागवतसेवया
Bhagavati Tamashloke
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
भक्ति भवति नैष्ठिकी
By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama
इदं भागवतं नाम
Puranam Brahma Samitam
पुराणं ब्रह्मसंहितं
Uttama Shloka Charitam
उत्तमश्लोकचरितं
Chakara Bhagavan Rishi
चकार भगवान् ऋषि
Nishreya Sayalokasya
निःशेषाय लोकस्य
Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat.
धन्यं स्वस्त्ययं नमः
This Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Shri Krishna Chaitanya
श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य
Prabhu Nityananda
प्रभु नित्यानन्द
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
श्री गदाधर
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
हरे कृष्ण
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
कृष्ण हरे
Hare Rama Hare Rama
हरे राम
Rama Rama Hare Hare
राम राम हरे हरे
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Sarabhyaya Namaha Om Sarabhyaya Namaha Om Sarabhyaya Namaha Mukham karoti vachanam tvangum langayate girim yatkripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam Yatkripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Welcome to our morning Bhagavatam class, continuing from Canto number 1, chapter 17, which is entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali, text number 24. Tapa Chaucham Daya Satyam Iti Padaha Krite Kritaha Adharmam Shaish Traivo Bhavnaha Smaya Sangha Madais Tava Shaucham Daya Satyam Iti Pada Krite Kritaha Adharmam Shaistrayo Bhagnaha Smaya Sangamadaiस्तava Tapa Shaucham Daya Satyam Iti Pada Krite Kritaha Adharmam Shaistrayo Bhagnaha
Adharmam Sestrayo Bhagnaha
Smaya Sangamadaistava
Maya Sangamadestava
Tapa Shaucham Daya Satyam
Tapaso Chandaya Satyam
Iti Pada Krite Kritaha
Iti Pada Krite Kritaha
Adharmam Shaistrayo Bhagnaha
Adharmam Sestrayo Bhagnaha
Smaya Sangamadaistava
Maya Sangamadestava
Tapa Shaucham Daya
Satyam
Satyam Iti Pada Krite Kritaha Adam Shaistrayo Bhagnaha Maya Sangamadaistava
Tapashocham Daya Satyam
Tapa Shaucham Daya Satyam
Iti Pada Krite Krita
Iti Pada Krite Kritaha
Adharmam Shaistrayo Bhagnaha
Adharmam Shaistrayo Bhagnaha
Maya Sangamadestava
Smaya Sangamadaistava
Tapasaucham Daya Satyam
Tapa Shaucham Daya Satyam
Iti Padaha Krite Kritaha
Iti Pada Krite Kritaha
Adharmam Shaistrayo Bhagnaha
Adharmam Shaistrayo Bhagnaha
Maya Sangamadestava
Smaya Sangamadaistava Tapaha
Tapaha
Austerity
Austerity
Shaucham
Saucham
Cleanliness
Cleanliness
Daya
Daya
Mercy
Mercy
Satyam
Satyam
Truthfulness
Truthfulness
Iti
Iti
Thus
Thus
Padaha
Padaha
Legs Krite
Krite
in the age of Satya
The age of Satya
Kritaha
Kritaha
established
Established
Adharma
Adharma
irreligiosity
Irreligiosity
Amshai
Amshay
by the parts
by the past
Trayaha
Trayaha
three combined
Three combined
Bhagnaha
Bhagnaha
broken
Broken
Smaya
Smaya
pride
Pride
Sangha
Sangha
too much association with women
Too much association with women
Madai
Madai
intoxication
Intoxication
Tava
Tava
your
Yoga
a translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. In the age of Satya, truthfulness, your four legs were established by the four principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. But it appears that three of your legs are broken due to rampant irreligion in the form of pride, lust for women, and intoxication. Kindly repeat after me. In the age of Satya,
The age of Satya
truthfulness,
Truthfulness
your four legs were established
Your four legs were established
by the four principles
by the four principles
of austerity,
of austerity,
cleanliness,
cleanliness,
mercy, and truthfulness.
mercy, and truthfulness.
But it appears
But it appears
that three of your legs
that three of your legs
are broken
are broken
due to rampant irreligion
due to rampant irreligion
in the form of pride,
in the form of pride,
lust for women,
lust for women,
and intoxication.
and intoxication.
Purport. The deluding energy or material energy can act upon the living beings proportionately in terms of the living beings falling prey to the deluding attraction of Maya. Moths are captivated by the glaring brightness of light, and thus they become prey to the fire. Similarly, the deluding energy is always captivating the conditioned souls to become prey to the fire of delusion. And the Vedic scriptures warn the conditioned souls not to become prey to delusion but to get rid of it. The Vedas warn us to go not to the darkness of ignorance, but to the progressive path of life. The Lord Himself also warns that the deluding power of material energy is too powerful to overcome. The one who completely surrenders unto the Lord can easily do so. But to surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is also not very easy. Such surrender is possible by persons of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. These four principles of advanced civilization were remarkable features in the age of Satya. In that age, every human being was practically a qualified Brahmana of the highest order. And in the social orders of life, they were all Paramahamsas, or the topmost of the renounced order. By cultural standing, the human beings were not at all subjected to the deluding energy. Such strong men of character were competent enough to get away from the clutches of Maya. But gradually, as the basic principles of Brahminical culture, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, become curtailed by proportionate development of pride, attachment for women, and intoxication, the path of salvation or the path of transcendental bliss retreated far, far away from human society. With the progression of the age of Kali, people are becoming very proud and attached to women and intoxication. By the influence of the age of Kali, even a pauper is proud of his penny. The women are always dressed in an overly attractive fashion to victimize the minds of men, and the man is addicted to drinking wine, smoking, drinking tea, and chewing tobacco, etc. All these habits, or so-called advancement of civilization, are the root causes of all irreligiosities, and therefore it is not possible to check corruption, bribery, and nepotism. Man cannot check all these evils simply by the statutory acts and police vigilance. But he can cure the disease of the mind by the proper medicine, namely advocating the principles of Brahminical culture, or the principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. Modern civilization and economic development are creating a new situation of poverty and scarcity, with the result of blackmailing the consumers' commodities. If the leaders and the rich men of the society spend 50% of their accumulated wealth mercifully for the misled mass of people and educate them in God consciousness, the book, the knowledge of Bhagavatam certainly, knowledge of Bhagavatam, certainly the age of Kali, will be defeated in its attempt to entrap the conditioned souls. We must always remember that the false pride or too high an attention on one's own values of life, undue attachment to women and association with them, and intoxication will divert human civilization from the path of peace, however much the people clamor for peace in the world. The preaching of the Bhagavatam principles will automatically render all men austere, clean both inside and outside, merciful to the suffering, and truthful in daily behavior. That is the way of correcting the flaws of human society, which are very prominently exhibited at the present moment. Yes. Translation again. In the age of Satya, truthfulness, your four legs were established by the four principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. But it appears that three of your legs are broken due to rampant irreligion in the form of pride, lust for women, and intoxication. Yes. In the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the very first verse of that chapter, which is entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge, before speaking the very well-known verse Raja Vidya Rajaguyam, which is the second verse actually, Krishna begins the chapter by the following verse: Sri Bhagavan Uvacha idam tute guyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajgyatva mokshase shubhat, which is translated as follows. The Supreme Lord said, my dear Arjuna, because you're never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most secret wisdom, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. Why I'm referring to this text? There's a direct connection between pride and envy. Enviousness is when we see somebody having something we don't have. And pride, of course, is based on identifying ourselves for what we are not, isn't it? We are, that is our common disease. And there's a famous book that people study when they go to university. They used to study, I studied in my days, called Pride and Prejudice. You heard of the book? Yeah, Pride and Prejudice. It's a classic. I couldn't understand anything about it. But Pride and Prejudice, which means that actually when we are proud, we naturally, pride leads to prejudice. Prejudice means thinking the wrong way about others. So pride, prejudice will lead us to accept, here it is making reference to the four pillars of dharma, uh, in, in terms of, they're mentioned in different order. The order I usually remember is Satyam, Daya, Tapasocham. And here it's like beginning with, what is it?
Tapaso.
Yeah, right. Uh, in any event, it's the same four. um, and when we are proud, we cannot understand, we cannot accept. We just like majority of people who are disconnected with the Vedic culture, they think they don't think about these activities like smoking or intoxication. They don't think it's bad. They don't think it's wrong. They don't think it's sinful. Uh, they have a different, actually, uh, people have very conveniently removed the word sinful from their vocabulary. It's like anything goes. But here's very clearly defined, Prabhupada in his lecture series on the Nectar Devotion, in a number of lectures that he gives, very nicely, very clearly, and very strongly also points out how we have to recognize these as being sinful activities which destroy ultimately which go against the principles of dharma, and which actually uh, destroy, in another purport Prabhupada speaks about, um, when we engage in such sinful activities, they destroy the uh, finer tissues, or the finer um, um,
Support.
huh?
Support.
Purport?
Support.
Support, yeah. Unless one is uh, somewhat purified in consciousness, one cannot uh, come to understand. It means actually, unless somebody comes at least to the mode of goodness, one cannot understand that there's something as bad, you know. And that's a common. I mean, that's a basic instruction in the Bhagavad Gita, of course, regarding pravriti marg and nivriti marg. Pravritim cha, nivritim cha, janana vidur asura. Those who don't know the difference between good and bad, between what is to be done, what is not to be done, what is dharma, what is adharma, they are classified as asura. Asura means they are polluted in consciousness, impure in consciousness. And when we are impure in consciousness, we cannot understand what is good and what is bad. And because this is, of course, as mentioned here in the purport by Srila Prabhupada, especially rampant, all-pervading, practically speaking, in the present age of Kali. So therefore, the whole Vedic culture has become practically destroyed. And it's a huge challenge, actually, for us, let's say, as devotees, and for us as a society to revive that Vedic culture. Because we have to, well, first of all, we have to begin by ourselves to properly understand and to properly apply these principles. And when we see that it's even difficult amongst devotees, then what to speak of those who are not even having the basic knowledge, isn't it? That is how how polluted, how heavily polluted the atmosphere of Kali Yuga is, that even amongst those who have this knowledge, it is not at all easy to not at all easy to follow or to apply. however, our acharyas mm, uh, inform us, although it is challenging, it is not impossible, and there are. It means we have to take different measures by which we can um, follow more easily these principles, uh, because unless we ourselves mm, are following, then we cannot properly, uh, you can't teach people what you're not yourself following. Um, so therefore, the need or the importance of uh, establishing communities where devotees can uh, get the the good association from one another. There are more chances that when people are together, living together, practicing together, that they can support one another in the practice of spiritual life, and more easily. And it's only the success of the Krishna consciousness movement will only be there when we can actually convince people by our own lifestyle, by our own example, which is directly based on these principles. Because even, for example, after the after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu completed his pastime, although the consciousness at that time was so high, and there were so many great devotees. I mean, the associates of Lord Chaitanya, there were many such associates. And even after his immediate departure, there were personalities like Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Pandit and Srinivas Acharya. But soon after they departed, the whole movement and the teachings of the Lord, they just went off track, isn't it? And they remain, amazingly, remain forgotten, covered for close to 300 years until Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, isn't it? Yeah, the whole history is there, which simply denotes how, how how strong is the influence of Kali Yuga, and how if we are not cautious and attentive, we can be derailed. We can fall from the path that is given. And there are different devotees who are more recently. Um, there are discussions about like on ISKCON television. Every week they have a series every Wednesday, and in the last while they've been speaking about the topic of cow protection in particular. And there are more recently also different interviews of devotees on the subject matter, interesting, of Varnashrama. And these are, of course, those two are very intimately connected, cows and Varnashrama. Well, the whole conversation and the whole lila that's taking place is connected with cows. The cow and the bull are being abused, are being inflicted pain and suffering, and Parikshit Maharaj is trying to analyze and understand the whole situation. So that will be revealed more and more as we enter into this as we continue in this chapter, because there is the title is punishment and reward. How do you reward Kali? Punishment and reward of Kali. So that will be coming up. But what is being underlined here is these four sinful activities, which automatically will be there when there is a lack of understanding about the principles of dharma. Quite a few things actually in the purport. Yeah, very long purport. Someone might like to, yeah. Yes.
This is my favorite verse in Bhagavatam. At the level I am, it's so relevant. It's very foundational.
Yeah.
This bhakti goes from an entire spectrum of, to the highest level, but this is like the very basis or the foundation.
ABC.
Yeah, it's, one thing really struck to me in this particular purport is, the whole idea of bhakti is to, Krishna is saying, surrender unto me, that's the only way you can conquer. The only way one can conquer, or, is to surrender to Krishna. And to surrender to Krishna, you can only do it if you follow these four principles
Yes.
of dharma,
Yes.
And the thing is that, of course, Kali Yuga has been extant for the last 5,500 years, but the most consequential changes happened at the beginning or the dawn of the industrial age, when out of pride, Maya, people thought, I don't want to do this austere menial work. The exploitation of the external source of energy has been the greatest destroyer of the principle of austerity. You flick a switch, press a button, machines starting with steam engines and everything that followed.
Yes.
And that has destroyed austerity like anything.
Everything has become easy, kind of.
And then convenience is the opposite of austerity. People think convenience is good, but they don't realize how it is destroying dharma. It's a very completely different attitude.
Yes.
The way the modern civilization want to conquer material energies by machines.
Yes,
if it's hot, turn the AC on. If it's cold, turn the heater on. But here in the purport, Sridham is saying you can conquer material energy by following these principles.
Right.
Beginning with austerity.
Correct.
So,
Yes. People are, in the early days, I remember when I was here in Mayapur, one of the books that came out was, what is it? The title was at that time Vairagya Vidya. Vairagya Vidya. Austerity and knowledge, which in the Bhagavatam is described. That verse is there. Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Sayadahaitukam. Causes detachment and knowledge. Unless we gain knowledge and unless we become detached from the material world, we will always be conditioned, isn't it? So knowledge helps us to become freed from the modes of material nature, and so in other words, both knowledge and detachment automatically comes when one actually practices bhakti yoga. So that book actually was not popular because the word vairagya was there. So the BBT decided to actually change not the content, but the title. Then the book started to sell. So the point you're making about, people are not at all inclined to to austerity. Rather the opposite. They want things to be more and more easy or convenient, and the whole modern advancement has made life in so many ways, we think, easier, but we're not looking at the cost
Yes.
factor. What we have had to do and what is behind the scenes to facilitate the kind of so-called facilities that we have in modern day society. We are destroying. Uh, we're destroying natural resources. We're also destroying this quality which is meant to be there. It's one of the four pillars of dharma, the quality of austerity or discipline, isn't it? People don't like the word discipline. People don't like to be, controlled by others because of false identification, because of ultimately because of pride, also because of false ego, isn't it? In modern day society, the false ego is very prominent, and therefore, when that is absent, then it means that it's more difficult for, let's say, devotees to convince people, because people are not uh, what's the word? They're not inclined to just surrender. It's all connected, of course, with the whole idea of surrender. So in so many ways, this so-called advancement, we pride ourselves in modern day society to establish that we are so advanced, we have made so much progress, etc. But we have, as written by one of our devotees, Dhruta Karma Prabhu, human devolution, right? We think we are evolving, but rather we are going in the opposite direction. So yes, your point especially was regarding austerity, or not. Yeah.
As austerity is destroyed, automatically cleanliness and mercy is destroyed, because
Ah,
they're all polluting technologies, so
yes.
unclean, and then it is all based on exploitation. In order to make this machine, you have to exploit resources, exploit people.
Yes. Yes.
It just cascades. So
Correct.
austerity is the foundation of even among all the
Yes.
devotees.
Yes. And of course, Prabhupada mentions, our Acharyas mentioned that austerity is a special feature and quality that is there, meant to be there in the human being, isn't it? And therefore we have tapasya brahmacharyena saminacha dhaminacha. Without austerity, one cannot properly control the mind and the senses, and without properly controlling the mind and the senses, we cannot properly practice Krishna consciousness, because without controlling the mind and the senses, we cannot follow the four principles, basically, isn't it? So, yeah, they're all interrelated and interconnected. Yes, Monica.
So your question or answer topic is that, connecting to the question how to start, how to build a master plan for establishing Dharma.
Yes.
And you say the first step
Exactly.
should be establishing the principle of focus,
Exactly.
the austerity.
Exactly.
I would say Prabhupada says something different in his purport. In the last sentence, he says that the preaching of the Bhagavatam principles will automatically render all men austere.
It's like a circle.
Yeah, but how to start?
Yeah. You start with Bhagavatam, and by Bhagavatam we get the
preaching
idea.
the Bhagavatam principles, and who's accepted the Bhagavatam principles will automatically accept the principles of austerity and other
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a loop.
Right, right.
So how to put it into the daily practice or the present time? It shows in the time I found just yesterday. I found one very interesting historical historical situation when Sri Virachandra Goswami,
When who?
Sri Virachandra Goswami, the direct son of Sri Nityananda Prabhu,
Okay.
he was in a festivities. And in that festivities, he called out one of the principal disciples of him. I was mentioned this, his name was Shi Yadu, just a minute. Let's see. Yadu Chaitanya, Shri Yadu Chaitanya Prabhu, and he ordered him in the following verse. There are many fierce Kshatriyas in Radha Desh, and you should illuminate bhakti in them by giving them Nama and Prema. Saying these, Virachandra Prabhu opened his small casket and gave the Nama Brahma Shila to Sri Yadu Chaitanya.
Mhm.
It's, for me, it shows that Lord Nityananda Prabhu and his son Virachandra Goswami have a concrete plan how to start this re-establishment in their time, in their age. And there is a Shila which is representative of Mahamantra. On the Shila there is a written Mahamantra. Very famous Shila you can see also here in this line of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. But I see that they didn't follow him or not properly followed him. So if you take this instruction, which is historically described in one book, it's called, anyway, I will say the name. So we can start from here, create a Shila or, make a nice program and visiting Kshatriya leaders, visiting leaders and try to preach to them, to convince them the Bhagavatam principles by experiencing, making them experiencing this prema. The Nama and prema will experience in their heart, then they will fiercely support this kind of change. Otherwise, we can go to the mass of people, but when the government will not support, Kali will put them back again to this helpless situation. So I think, or could be study this situation, but or it shows that how to become successful in this breaking this difficult situation and start a new era. That's my opinion.
Okay.
No one
No,
yesterday
it's okay.
I found this in the class. Today I find this very much connected,
Okay.
and it looks like very reasonable.
In that connection, if I understand the point you're making, is that one of the practical ways to actually bring about major changes in society, in other words, to bring people back to the principles of dharma, is to bring about a change of heart amongst kshatriyas or leaders.
The highest leaders.
Yeah, because they're the ones who actually govern society in so many ways, and actually this very, I think there is element of, I mean, that's connected with one of the prominent verses in the Bhagavad Gita. You know, how does it start? I mean, about leaders.
Yeah, whatever the leaders does.
Yeah,
common people
whatever
follow.
great, yeah.
If I would not act according to the Dharma, then everyone else will.
yes.
And that's
So it's similar to what happened when the books were lost. When the books were sent from Vrindavan, and they were lost in what was it? Um, in Bengal, when they arrived in Bengal, and then after some time, actually, we know the three uh, students of Srila Jiva Goswami had been sent with these books, and they were stolen by the king. And then what happened is that, of course, the books were found, and then the king became a devotee, and then he made everyone,
or the country.
the whole country, yeah. He passed a rule actually that
By
if you
force.
don't chant, yeah, right.
Actually, Prabhupada in many conversations says that
Yes,
the most fastest and the way to introduce the culture and propagate is through military force. Right?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the whole principle of yad acharati shrestha, that verse is there. Yes, that yes, that is that is there, and our devotees in different ways are endeavoring to do this by meeting with prominent people, people who are, having such kind of leadership positions in society. And I think we need, Prabhupada spoke about this, and he also spoke about, in the modern day context in which we find ourselves, then with democracy, then, you just you just vote in a devotee as leader, and then the whole thing will, of course, that's not so easy to do. But Prabhupada wanted that we preach at all different levels, um, and 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 the point you're making is quite correct. That, and we chant this verse every day, that Bhagavatam is the means is of conquest. Yeah, right. By spreading this knowledge, by having discourses on the topics that are presented here, then gradually, definitely, it is happening. More and more people are coming in contact with the knowledge and applying that knowledge in their own personal lives, and then changes are gradually taking place. And sometimes some of those people who are receiving these books are in positions of leadership at different levels. And the more this happens, then obviously major changes will be taking place. So yeah, that's an important point as well. Okay, yes. Yeah, please. Yeah, it's around that time anyways. Yes.
Maharaj, I see that there is a devotee, Tejas Prabhu, you know him.
Yes.
So he was telling us when he was visiting us that he had a brother, and his brother was getting an information that how evil-minded, very powerful persons convinced the leader of the government to allow to introduce different type of tools for making people crazy, like developing the television, allowing people getting the credit card, and establishing this kind of education system for the very childhood, which makes a little child like becoming dumb and crazy. So these things are allowed, permitted by government leaders who before was against these activities. And they fight it against because they have a good understanding of the consequences of this. Just a credit card. It's nothing. Just a new type of education. It's nothing because they will learn how to write properly because they are country people, they don't know, they are stupid.
Yes,
They're
yes.
convinced, but the clever leaders knew that
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
not the case.
A whole
It's a
agenda
cheating.
behind, of course.
But then the leader was changed by
Right.
force or some different political reason, and the next leader was already corrupt,
Right.
and they easily allowed it, the slaughterhouse system
Yes,
to
yes, yes.
establish in all over the
Yeah.
Western world.
Yes.
So leaders are really key projects, key,
Yes.
goal for us to try to change something really definitely.
Yes, yes. But it's all there in the Bhagavatam, and if people are given the opportunity, the more they come in contact and hear what is, then gradually
Yeah.
people.
But I mean, when you establish this educational system of Varnashram, you
Yeah.
will definitely teach Kshatriya or potentially Kshatriya young people.
Yes.
So if the education for their education is focusing on that goal, is preparing them
Yes.
to when they establish themselves, then they try to have this like a lifelong project.
Right.
That would be really effective, change for the next generation.
Yeah. That's the whole idea of Prabhupada's intent in establishing, introducing Varnashram College was to introduce, the Vedic
Yeah,
sciences and the Vedic way of understanding and of doing as well, which is different from what is presently existing in modern day educational system. Yeah. Prabhupada ki
yeah.
gold.